Hi everybody, this is Barry Schwartz from the Search Engine Roundtable. This is a Search Buzz video recap. Today is Friday, May 14th, and this is the news we covered over the past week at the Search Engine Roundtable at seroundtable.com. We're doing the live broadcast as well. We have about 5 or 6, 7 people in the currently watching live now. We try to run this thing live at 9 o'clock every Friday morning or so. Right now it's 9:20, so we're a bit late. So definitely tune in. You can ask questions as we're doing it, and then we publish this later at the Search Engine Roundtable. So let me get started right away. We have lots of topics to discuss, and hopefully go fast and smoothly. The first topic, which is already asked in the chat room already, was talking about this May Day update. We talked about it last week or the week before. The Google May Day update is basically what people are noticing where they're affected by this what is known as basically long tail keywords. And these long tail keywords seem to be dropping out of Google, and thus a lot of webmasters are noticing less referrals from Google and less rankings in terms of their very, very long tail keywords. The question is, why is this happening? Why won't Google admit something's happening and stuff like that? There's lots of theories going around the web. SEO Pirate in the chat room said that SEO Moz Rand Fishkin has a great whiteboard Friday about talking about the May Day update. You can check it out at seomoz.org in the blog over there. On today, Friday, May 14th, you can learn about that in terms of what his theories are and stuff like that. But I did see some more interesting theories over at the Webmaster World thread now, which is now 2 threads long. One is that Tedster, the Webmaster World administrator, who's a very, very smart guy, feels that this is way beyond comparing different models and data sets, but it's more looking at Google's algorithm and saying hey, this is somewhat of an automated and self-improving algorithm, according to Tedster. And there's lots of things going on here. It's really hard to isolate what it is because a lot of people are noticing changes in their referrals. Some suspect it has to do with caffeine. Some suspect it has to do with the new Google design and how that might affect referrals. And some suspect that it has to do with maybe this May Day update, long tail keywords. And it's hard to know for sure, but it's definitely something's going on, and it's hard to know exactly what's going on. So I'm really asking Google to go out there and say, hey, just write a blog post, tell us where you are with things, and hopefully in the future there'll be less confusion about what's going on and where you stand right now. So that's this May Day topic. We have more links to details on May 14th at seroundtable.com. Has links to SEO Moz's post, has links to Tedster's comments, as well as other insights from webmasters and SEOs. So we did talk about this Google's new redesign. And the redesign, we showed you guys last week what it looked like, but a lot of people didn't like it. So the question is, how do you get back to the previous design? And Google said they aren't going to give people necessarily a way to get back to the old design. They're not going to give people, they're not going to go ahead and give revert back. They're sticking with this new design. But right now, if you want to, you could actually go to google.com/webhp?HL equals all. And I'm going to post this in the chat room for people to see. And that URL pretty much takes you to the old interface, and the old interface with the old logo. And I'm going to show them online right now. Here's the old interface, and here's the new interface. See the different logo types. And if you do a search, the old interface and the new interface. And I'll try to post screenshots in the podcast version as well. But basically, that's the way you get to the old one. You go to google.com/webhp?HL equals all. And then you can do some searches on the old interface if you missed the old interface. It's pretty interesting because Google in the forums is pretty much pleading with webmasters and SEOs and searchers to pretty much stay with the new design. They're saying, we're going to stick with it, and hopefully you guys can overcome the new look and say, hey, this is actually really better for searchers and for me. And it's pretty interesting to see, how that's happening. A Googler over at the Webmaster at the Google Web Search forums named Ruby went ahead and wrote a whole long thing about how people should give it a try, not just give up on it, and it's pretty fun to read. We have a post about it on May 11th if you want to read it. But he basically goes all out saying, pleading with people to actually stick with it and see how it looks. Again, that's May 11th. And also on May 11th, we have a post from Brett Tapke over at Webmaster World. He's the founder of Webmaster World, who claimed that since this new redesign, he noticed a significant drop in his referrals from Google. He still has the same rankings. He's still ranking very well, but his rankings, his referrals, meaning the traffic from Google to his website, has declined drastically. And a lot of other people said that they're in the same boat. He believes it has to do with the redesign somehow, and that redesign is sending less traffic to him. We posted a poll, and about just under 200 or so responses so far, and about 40% of them said that their traffic has been down from Google since this redesign. But we'll post these more results next week for you guys to take a look at. Again, if you have questions in the chat room right now, definitely ask questions and put it in the chat room, and hopefully I'll incorporate that in the video as we go. So this poll is on May 11th. You can take a look at it at SEOroundtable.com. I'm going to post some links in the chat room as I go. Hopefully that URL worked that I just posted there. Anyway, next topic is Google, what they said, launched a new feature called short answers, as well as something they're calling something different. So basically, about a year ago, Google launched Google Squared. Google Squared is basically a new way for Google to organize unstructured data into a structured data format. It's basically going around the web, crawling the web, figuring out what the web's talking about, and putting those into structured databases. And Google's been doing this for about a year now with Google Squared, maybe more than a year, but they launched it about a year ago. And Google, in this blog post, said that they power their short answers, meaning if you do a search for something like Iron Man 2 release date, Google will show an answer saying Iron Man release date was on May 7th, 2010. And Google said they power this by using Google Squared. They also said they power the new feature, another feature, by using Google Squared. The thing is, people, especially a lot of reporters, are saying that this is a brand new feature. Google Answers is a brand new feature, that this is never out there before. The truth is, this has been out there since 2005 with Google Question and Answers. It's just that they're actually sourcing this from another place. They're sourcing this from Google Squared as opposed to their Google Questions and Answers database. So it's definitely new in terms of how they're actually sourcing this data, but at the same time, it's not new as a feature. The other feature was Google Something Different, and this Something Different feature is pretty neat, where Google is actually showing you on the left-hand side of the new design a little thing called Something Different. So if you do a search for zebra, for example, up comes Something Different on the left-hand side, and that Something Different shows giraffe, hippo, elephant, cheetah, etc. And that's basically also being pulled from Google Square, and that's a nice little new feature. All right, let's move on to the next topic. Next topic is, we see a lot of reports over at Webmaster World that the link report from Google Webmaster Tools, Google Webmaster Tools has a link report where you can actually capture data and see who's linking to you, what your most links are, where they're coming from, and stuff like that. People are saying that those link reports are much more robust, much more detailed. They're seeing much more detail in terms of, how quickly those links show up, how fresh they're there, and where these links are coming from. So it's pretty interesting to see that. We have a link to it on May 10th at SEOroundtable.com if you want to learn more about that. But a lot of people are reporting that those links are definitely more valuable in terms of the reporting tools you have in there than it was back in the day. Another SEO related topic is that Twitter, people are saying that Twitter could help you get indexed. Twitter could help you get indexed, we have a post about it on May 13th at SEOroundtable.com, and a Webmaster World thread says that somebody posted a brand new site the other day, and the only link to it he posted was on Twitter. And soon later, that site was in Google's indexed, and the only link that he's aware of that was out there for it was via Twitter. So he's saying that maybe Twitter could help you get indexed in terms of getting your site indexed. And obviously, I think that's true. I don't think it's necessarily a way to increase your rankings, but it's definitely a way for Google to discover new content and to find new content via the web, is to use Twitter, amongst other things as well. Obviously, XML sitemaps, new links from other websites, and different things like that, as well as toolbar or whatever, to discover new content. So Twitter is obviously a good way to get your content out there, but as Tedster, the Webmaster World administrator, said, it's definitely not a good way to get substantial and prolonged rankings in Google for a website that you want to rank well for. You obviously want those aged links from hubs and authorities across the web to get those top rankings that you need. But in terms of acquiring new data for Google to index and to capture, that's definitely something that probably Google's something you're using these days. This morning I wrote about another topic about link building, and link building topic. And I guess some people are having problems in the chat room getting the URLs. Try to follow me. Just go to SEOroundtable.com, and I'll say the dates of the post, and you can probably find it that way. May 14th, we were talking about how it's getting harder and harder for link builders to acquire links without building relationships first. And what I mean by that, it was a thread over Webmaster World, and there's a lot more people, like we discussed last week about the confusion in the industry, what's black hat, what's white hat, and we had a long conversation about there's a lot of confusion out there from SEOs as well as new webmasters to try to think that SEO is really a really dark thing and shouldn't be even looked at. At the same time, this is affecting link builders. It used to be in the day where link builders were able to send out emails to very specific sites with very specific messages telling them, hey, my site has really great content. I think you should link to it because of this and this reason, and you should link to it from this page because it's really, that page could really be an aid for linking to this for good reasons. And at the same time, what you are having here is that professional link builders are saying that in the past past few months, it's been very, very hard for them to get links just by sending out email requests to webmasters. These are not blanket email requests; they are very targeted email requests. At the same time, these email requests are zero effective when in the past they used to be very, very effective. So now what he's doing is changing his link building strategy to build, obviously, relationships. And obviously building relationships is something a lot of link builders have been talking about for a long time, but he's saying he's doing this now. And the way he's doing this is by creating an ad network. And he's paying these people for placing banner ads on their website and stuff like that. But he feels the best type of relationship you could build with somebody that you don't know is to actually give them money. It's not you're buying a link, because later on you're saying, hey, I know your site, we've been working together for a few weeks, few months now, and I know these ads are working well on your site, and I'll be paying you well for that, but I think that you could actually benefit your users and make a better site if you link to me. And that's how these link builders are now trying to get links, as opposed to just sending out email requests and making their claim that way. Again, that's on May 14th at SEOroundtable.com. The next topic is AdWords related. Google released a new feature, a new broad match feature called a broad match modifier. This is pretty cool. It actually lets you go between what a broad match, which is basically you type in, you want to match very broadly on your keywords, and makes it more specific than just broad match, but also makes it less specific than phrase match. And let me show you an example. For example, let's say you are targeting the keyword, let's say, for example, formal shoes. And if you were doing broad match, formal shoes would match on formal footwear, evening footwear, men's dress wingtips, anything related to shoes, it would rank well for. It would rank in AdWords, so you basically come up in AdWords for anything in those matches as well. If you were doing formal shoes with phrase match, it would only do black formal shoes for men. It had to have those keywords in it. But if you added a broad match modifier to it, you could say, let's say formal, and the way to add a broad match modifier is to put a plus between the modifier, or between the words. So for example, you did formal plus shoes, it would match for evening shoes, black dress shoes. But if you did plus formal plus shoes, it would do matches for formal shoes spelled wrong, formal evening shoes. So there's different ways to use this plus modifier in front of them, in front of the tool, in front of the actual broad match keyword, to actually be more specific but less specific than the phrase match. Another way to modify that, we have more details at May 12th at SEOroundtable.com. So that's a pretty new feature. They're actually not live yet in the UK. It's only live in the UK. It's only being tested right now in the UK and Canada, not in the US. So if you're in the UK or Canada, you're a lucky beta tester. The next topic is AdSense. AdSense is testing, and this has been going on since March, I believe, but I just found out about it today. They've been testing above the fold ads, and basically they're giving AdWords advertisers who are participating in the content network the ability to say, I don't want to advertise, I don't want my ads to show up for ads below the fold. And there's a way they can do that. They just go to their AdWords campaign, they click on campaigns, they click on the networks tab, then they go to the exclusion link, and they basically add an exclusion saying, select exclude below the fold ads. And that basically allows advertisers to say, I don't want my ads to show below the fold, only above the fold, which is a nice little feature for advertisers. And how do they get this data? They look at web browser size, they look at monitor resolution, screen resolution, stuff like that to determine which ads are above the fold and which ads are below. If you want to learn more about that, May 14th at SEOroundtable.com. Here's a funny-ish story. On May 12th, Wednesday, we wrote about a story of an AdSense account being hacked into. This AdSense account was supposedly hacked into. The payee information was changed to someone in India, and a check of about $25,000 or so was sent to this Indian person about 4 weeks ago. Since then, the publisher complained to Google about 4 weeks ago with no response. They're saying, they hacked into my account, they changed my payee information, I lost out on my monthly check of about $25,000. What are you going to do to help me? This was sent to the wrong person. Still, there's been no response for this advertiser. It happened about a month ago. It was reported at Webmaster World. There's still no response. I don't know. I don't know what to do. Honestly, I don't know where Google should stand on this. It just seems like a really crazy thing for anything to happen, especially for an AdSense publisher. The next topic is related to Google Maps, another somewhat funny thread that I found over at the Google Maps Helps Forum. We posted about this on May 12th, and basically this, a guy named Mike is getting married in July, I believe, and he's marrying a teacher in his local neighborhood, and in there they had a little typo on their invitation. I guess they did not proofread it carefully enough, but the address of the wedding location is missing a number or two, and he was hoping that Google Maps could help him out, where they would auto-correct or at least show "did you mean" type of suggestions for the wrong address. The problem is they really can't do that. They really cannot. They really cannot do that. They can't change this for them. So it's funny because I think they spelled in the invitation, it says 42 Chesterfield Road in New Hampshire somewhere, but the honest truth of that is, I believe it's some other address, and I don't know the exact address, but basically, this guy's having a wedding. He feels like a lot of people are going to miss out because he had a typo there. I guess he has to contact his whole wedding list again and send out this revised invitation to tell him about the address change. Google's not actually able to help this person, but at the same time, I want to, obviously wish this Mike guy a congratulations on his upcoming wedding and much luck in his future marriage. Finally, it was Mother's Day this past Sunday. It was actually my wife's first Mother's Day, and she had a great time. And we posted the various Google logos on May 9th, Sunday, Mother's Day. And I'll scroll through them and post them in the podcast for you guys to see later. And again, this is on May 9th at SEOroundtable.com. Here's the Google logo. Google had two different logos going on, a flower logo and an ice sculpture type of logo. Yahoo had an animated logo, which is cute. Bing had a theme, so did Ask. Baidu, Orkut, Sugo, Create a Site Forums, Search Engine Roundtable, and also where they weren't celebrating Mother's Day, they had this J.M. Barry, who basically was the I think the founder or the person who invented Peter Pan. His 150th birthday was on Mother's Day, and whoever didn't celebrate Mother's Day got this cute little logo for that. So that pretty much recaps the Search Buzz video recap. Again, my name is Barry Schwartz. This is the news we covered over at the past week at the Search Engine Roundtable at SERoundtable.com. Today again is Friday, May 14th. Thanks for listening, and tune in next week for the next week's version. Thanks.